Aloha and welcome everybody to the Virgo solar eclipse astrology and Reiki share. I am so grateful to be together today on this day of the Virgo solar eclipse and the equinox just around the corner. Thank you to everyone who is present live and those who are listening later. You are so very appreciated, and we are in circle together, multidimensionally, again, whether you're here live or listening later. So, just a couple announcements before we look at the astrology together. So, I host these every new moon, and the next new moon astrology and Reiki share will be October 20th, and that is for the Libra new moon. And you can learn about how to RSVP for free on my website, taylornorrisreiki.com. And if you're seeing this on YouTube, that link will be in the description box below. I don't have any classes open at this time as we are in the Venusian Ascension Mysteries class. However, I do have one-on-one galactic astrology soul readings and Reiki journey sessions. So if you want to book one of those, both of those, taylornorrisreiki.com is where you can learn more about those offerings and schedule one if you feel so inclined. So, looking at our astrology, lots happening in the end of September. We are really in a portal these next few days of a lot going on astrologically. This has been a very potent eclipse season, and we are not finished with it yet. And the good news is that, yes, each of us have the strength that we need to keep moving forward and keep on keeping on through this eclipse season. So, at the time of recording this, we are in the very balsamic phase of the moon. So, that's the final phase of the moon, the dark of the moon. And we are preparing for the new moon in Virgo, which is a solar eclipse. And that is occurring in the very last degree of Virgo zodiac sign. Very, very potent healing energies for us to tap into, align to the super galactic center. And we will be connecting in with the super galactic center, Shapley Attractor, Orcus, the eclipse, the equinox, all of that in our Reiki journey today. And for a deep dive into the astrology of the eclipse and the new moon, I recorded a separate video on that. So you can refer back to that if you're curious about what is the astrology, what's all going on in the astrology of the eclipse and new moon. So today we have the eclipse. Later today, also, Mars is entering Scorpio. And before I go any further, this is just to say the times right here in this chart, these are all set to Hawaii time where I'm located. So the dates and the times that I mentioned, they are Hawaii time. So you will need to adjust your time zone. I know most of you are not in Hawaii, so it may be that these transits are happening the next calendar day, depending on where you are in the world. So later in the day or several, hours from this, Mars will be changing sign. Mars has been at the last degree of Libra, and Mars will enter Scorpio, and Mars is really giving us this access point into Shapley Attractor, which we will be connecting into in our Reiki journey. This is a potent force of attraction, of deep release. It is a cosmic anomaly, a possibly supermassive black hole, just very, very powerful cosmic force that Mars is giving us a way to receive the cosmic rays, receive the alignment, receive the transformation, receive the alchemical light codes that are available to us. And Mars is in its ancient rulership in the sign of Scorpio, so it's very powerful. It's very focused. It's very transformational. It's very Plutonian. It's very deep. We're not talking about the shallow end of the swimming pool here. Scorpio is all in. It's the deep end. It's diving deep. It's going beneath the surface, and it is not afraid to delve into the depths, into the hidden, into what is beyond the veil, and access any truth, any wisdom, any knowledge, any information that is beneath the surface or is being veiled. So, this is a very, very powerful, intense, potent energy, Mars and Scorpio, that we are working with the rest of September and throughout the majority of October, too. At the end of October, Mars will enter Sagittarius, but we get a very good dose of Mars and Scorpio before then. So excellent for focused healing work, transformational work, spiritual work, and just deep, empowered soul motivation flowing through us. So that's just today, right? September 22nd. The sun enters Libra. We have the Libra equinox. We have the spring equinox in the southern hemisphere, and it is the autumn equinox in the northern hemisphere. And so this is a reset. This is a realignment. This is coming into harmony. This is coming into balance. This is coming into right relationship. This is a sign, Libra, about justice, about truth, about sacred relationship, creativity, beautiful design, beautiful aesthetics. These are some of the gifts of Libra. Being able to step into another's shoes, see both sides of an issue or a decision, choices, seeing someone else's perspective, seeing things with an eye for fairness. So, very, very powerful beginning to Libra season and equinox energies beginning here as we transition into this third quarter of the year. And really, this is the chart of the equinox on screen. I included it. And so amazing and potent that this eclipse is happening right prior to equinox. You can see in this chart the sun is at that first degree 00 of Libra. Mercury is not too far ahead, and the moon will have just conjoined and is moving on from a conjunction with Mercury. So, this is like a download. This is an insight. This is an awareness. This is mental transformation, mental reprogramming. This is things coming together within our lower mind. This is like, we got it, whatever it is. This is having an insight around it, questions we've been mulling over. And this is a sign of things coming together, new communications, thought forms, like a unification, a healing, a resonance, a soothing of our mental and emotional bodies, a nervous system kind of readjustment happening here. So, really, really beautiful mental, emotional rebalancing available at the time of this Libra equinox. And you can see here Mars super potent at that very first degree of Scorpio. So this is deep, transformative, alchemical, all of those words I've been saying and will be continuing to say as we go into October transits as well. So September 22nd is our equinox. September 23rd, the sun in Libra will oppose Neptune retrograde still in Aries. And this is kind of like a continuation of that disillusionment I've been talking about, of discernment of the veils that have been obscuring any truth, anywhere we have been in illusion, anywhere we have been confused and not clear. maybe some of that coming into greater focus, greater awareness. It's coming up to be released and let go. This is a day of a lot of spiritual power and healing potential, intuitive potential, creative potential, but also really embracing that healthy disillusionment and also ideas about what dreams are you ready to manifest and create and make real, and to engage in the dreaming process, the journeying process, your meditation process, your spiritual processes and practices that you really enjoy at this time. This may be also feeling like I need a rest, I need a break, something like that. So, tuning in if you need that. Maybe it's just as simple as putting on some music, listening to a nice song, or engaging in some kind of creative outlet that feels really soul nourishing for you. And any kind of confusion or feeling like maybe a lower energy level is going to be released shortly thereafter. No worries. Later in the day, September 23rd, the sun will trine Uranus. And this is bringing in an energy surge. This is bringing in electricity, new ideas, communications, relationships, social opportunities. And as it's Uranus, it's innately going to be stimulating energy, but it's not going to be, say, as stimulating as something like a square from Uranus or an opposition that's really like a square would be compelling that action, that breakthrough. This is more of like a flowing electrical current, a flowing sense of like awareness and breakthrough and liberating force that even, the trines are easier energies that are almost like easier to ignore or even miss. It's really like those squares that's like, whoa, I'm being really stimulated. I'm going to take some action. I'm going to have a shift in consciousness. This might be a little subtler, but it's a zingy, awakening energy nonetheless. Shortly after that Sun trine Uranus, we will have Sun trine Pluto. So that zing is going to offer some depth to it as well, some insights, awarenesses. This is really like future energies coming in, future self energies, innovations, breakthroughs, soul consciousness, more of that truth frequency coming to light, empowerment frequency coming to light, and things really coming together to support those deep breakthroughs that many of us are ready for. And what role do you have in co-creating the new paradigm, the new reality, the world that you want to live in and be a part of, and the kind of human existence and human society that feels really nourishing and appropriate for where we are in terms of our consciousness. September 24th, all of this energy flow is going to precipitate some action and or shift in consciousness that the time has come for it, because we have a square and the square is between Mars and Pluto, Mars in Scorpio, Pluto in Aquarius. And so this is a third quarter square. Mars is coming home to Pluto. And so it may or may not be an actual action. It may be more of a shift in consciousness based on really like your process and these last couple years of growth, alchemy, transformation, empowerment. What change in consciousness is arising within you at this time, and to really invite the frequency of peace and soothing and emotional intelligence to be present, and to know that this can be a little bit of a sizzler. Mars is a hot planet, Pluto is that soul power coming through. So whatever the shift in consciousness is, it may also be coming with an action step, a grounded action step that you're being supported to at least consider in a serious way, in a deep way at this time. So I also included on screen here too when the moon is changing signs, because that's something really powerful to pay attention to. And you can always see where the moon is either on astro-seek.com. That's a good website to go to, astro.com as well. They will always show you what zodiac signs and degrees all the planets are in, so you can see exactly for your location what sign the moon is in. And this is like the ultimate vibe check. If you want just like a really quick and easy vibe check, like what's the energy like, just knowing what sign the moon is in can give you a lot of information. So, September 21st, this day of our Virgo solar eclipse, the moon is finishing up in Virgo, and it's quickly, just a few hours later, entering the sign of Libra. And that can be like a breath of fresh air after all this Virgo energy. It's been very intense and detailed and analytical and trying to get to the root cause of everything and understand everything. Libra's like, sigh of relief, like breathing out, exhaling, finding that wholeness, that balance, a little bit of a nicer sense of ease and harmony. So this can be very, very helpful. And again, Moon's going to be in Libra at the time of the Libra equinox, and that's a very resonant energy as well. Couple days later, Moon is entering Scorpio. There's that depth. It's going to conjoin Mars. There's that power. There's that motivation. There's that activation energy. That's like a big get things done kind of an energy. Very good for focusing, but it can also be very emotionally intense and feeling all the feelings. September 26th, the moon will enter Sagittarius. This is very expansive. This is joyful. This is like wanting to study astrology or think about metaphysical things or be more in that philosophical, imaginative, even like a dream time, visionary visualization type of an energy, freedom loving type of an energy, also like move your physical body type of an energy can all be moon in Sagittarius. September 28th, moon's gonna enter Capricorn, and that's like, okay, get to work. What needs to get done? What needs fixing? What needs attending to? What needs that sense of focus? So that can give you just a really nice way to kind of tune into what the day-to-day energy is like. Earth, moon, very practical, September 28th, and for the next couple days when it's in Capricorn. Then we get into October. Depth, transformation, alchemy, courage, harmony, and balance. These are some of the key frequencies of the rest of the moon cycle in October. So these stars kind of highlight what are the energetic peaks I'm noticing when looking at all of the transits. These aren't all of the transits, but these are like some of the major transits. I didn't on this chart here include, say, all the different aspects the moon is making, but these are some of the highlights and quite a lot of them. So October 1st, we start the month, Mercury square Jupiter, and this is like expansive thought. This is expansive, higher mind, lower mind, how to reconcile the two, how to integrate the emotional intelligence and learning and mothering and yeah, divine mother frequency that Jupiter and Cancer is really bringing to us, how to reconcile that with the Mercury and Libra that is seeking all that balance, the fairness, the understanding, the insights, justice, truth, harmony, beauty. How do we reconcile the two? So there is that sense of there can be here a shift in consciousness, an action step. It is a first quarter square of Mercury separating from Jupiter. So there can be an action step that's coming through this higher mind, expanded emotional intelligence vision, and how to actually translate that into day-to-day practicalities and right relationship. October 3rd, Mercury is going to oppose Chiron in Aries. This can be deep healing, mental healing, becoming aware of where we've given our power away or been in some of that victim consciousness, and also accessing those deep truths, like what have we learned and healed and grown through on each of our journeys, what mindsets are outdated and of an old paradigm or an older version of ourselves, like a younger version of ourselves or a less healed version of ourselves, that it's ready to just kind of like let that go, and that new sense of sovereignty and empowerment and wholeness to fill and infuse and illuminate our mental bodies. This can be sensitive, this can be like watch your words. It can also be like healing words that are coming through you or coming through someone else. October 6th, we have one of the energy peaks. It's really October 6th, 7th. October 6th, Mercury is going to join Mars in the sign of Scorpio. So Mercury is entering Scorpio as well, bringing that depth, bringing that transformation, bringing that alchemy, bringing that sense of focus, getting to the bottom of something, getting to the truth, to the root cause, to that deeper understanding beneath the surface. And this can also be like being aware of how your emotions are impacting your mental body and coming into alignment with that. There's a depth of emotional intelligence and emotional mastery that can really come to light at this time. This can also be like deeper connection and communication with spirit guides, with, invisible energies, very, very intuitive, clear senses, kind of a functionality, clear cognizance, kind of an energy here with Mercury and Scorpio. This is like easier mediumship, easier communicating with energies beyond the veil. Likewise, keep your energetic sovereignty intact so that you can turn that on, turn that off, adjust that accordingly to your needs and your mental health at this time. Mental health tending becomes very important when Scorpio energies are activated. And remember, Mars is already there. So, really, really tending your mental health and well being at this time. And it's going to be coming into full view because we have a full moon in Aries on October 6th, 14 degrees, 8 minutes. I'll do a separate video deep dive into the Aries full moon, but this is empowerment, this is courage, this is bold, this is your inner strength, this is that spiritual sovereignty, clarity, direct through line that you have to source. And what is your soul mission? What is your spirit mission? What are your next steps? How are you saying yes to your authentic leadership? What's that next level of expression of your authentic leadership? You may become aware of how you're being called into that next level expression of your authentic leadership and saying yes to that and releasing anything that is blocking or obscuring that at this time, because we all need each of our leadership in the world activated and fully conscious and online at this time. October 2nd, 7th, rather, Mercury is squaring Pluto. So again, this is continuing that energetic peak This is Mercury in Scorpio, third quarter squaring Pluto in Aquarius. So this is indicating yet another shift in consciousness, yet another shift in our mental bodies, yet another invitation to really go deep into research, deep into the truth, deep into the root cause, what is beneath the surface, what is being hidden, what is being veiled, and accessing those deeper truths, deeper mystical and intuitive realities, deeper sense of contact and consciousness with your own soul, your own soul's power, your own soul mission, your own soul's drive at this time. And if your mind is going somewhere you don't want it to go, redirect it where you want it to go. Use a mantra, use a topic or set of topics that you would like to think about instead, and to just be very aware of your mind, because there's that depth possible, and there's also that power and that magnetism that's possible coming through Pluto. October 8th, woo, we have a little sweet break here. Thank you very much, Venus, Jupiter. Thank you very much. We're needing it. We're needing a breath of beauty, of expansion, of a little bit softer energies, divine feminine energies. You know, two of the aspects of the divine feminine here with Venus and Virgo, very healing, practical, grounded earth energies, Jupiter and Cancer, Cancer, the sign of the moon, the mother, divine mother, the earth. So we have this deep and powerful, expansive, beautiful transmission of divine feminine energy that we can tune into October 8th. And that's gonna, I feel like, given everything that I've just talked about, that's going to be very sweet and very, very appreciated. October 11th, Venus opposes Saturn. So it's bringing that sweetness into form, into manifestation. What do you want to create? What do you want to make real? What action steps are needed? What are you calling in to? Like, what dreams are you calling in and attracting into manifestation at this time? What dreams are you ready to make real? This is that divine feminine inner authority, unification, sacred embodiment coming into that oneness, into that sense of merge through Venus in contact with Saturn. And where Venus with Jupiter may have gone a little overboard, Venus with Saturn, it's dialing it in, it's making it appropriate, titrating it to find that sweet spot of just right. This is also like disciplined Saturn, beauty, Venus. How do you discipline? How do you like make space for that divine feminine? How do you make space for like the rituals that are nourishing to you, the sweetness, the softness, the breaks, like the ways that you can feed and nourish your soul, like schedule that in, discipline it in. Saturn can help us make sure that we are tending and allowing space for grace to be there, in beauty and sweetness and softness and gentleness and all the things that Venus wants to give us so that we can live our most fulfilled lives. October 13th, we have another energetic peak. Check this out, all of these things that are happening. Venus is changing signs. She's entering Libra. She's coming into her own sign. This is beautiful. This is aligned. This is very aesthetic. Libra energy. Again and again, I see it so much in people who have just like such a good designer, graphic design, beauty, artistic energy about them. Libra is a very like popular energy, very social energy, but it's just such a gorgeous sign of artistry and design and balance and bringing things into harmony. So Venus and Libra, ooh, this is super sweet, super gorgeous. And to take that to its next level, Venus is going to be opposing Neptune retrograde, still in Aries. This is creative. This is magical. This is romantic. This is otherworldly. This is super spiritual. Just super, super beautiful. So, October 13th, carving out some juicy, soft, feminine, creative, magical time to be with your soul, to be with your spirit, to be with that divine feminine goddess energy, because she is receiving a massive transmission of power through this alignment with Neptune. And also that same day, October 13th, Pluto is stationing direct. So Pluto has been moving retrograde these last few months, really directing us into an internalized process of soul empowerment, integration. Pluto stationing direct at 1 degrees, 22 minutes of Aquarius. This is like really integrating all of the learning of the last few months, really feeling that soul power in our bodies, very, very directly embodied essence. You know, what have we learned? How have we grown? How have we transformed? What are the downloads and the light codes of the new earth and heaven on earth, and what you're being inspired to create and focus on, and what transformation is still yet to come? How are you showing up in your full soul consciousness? This is very, very potent. And this Pluto stationing direct is really going to be felt a week prior, at least, maybe I would say, you know, just to be safe, all month. All month long, we can expect that Pluto soul consciousness, soul power, soul empowerment energy to be really strong. So this is your invitation to be listening and connecting more in with the whispers of your soul's guidance and your soul's mastery, and receiving those downloads, insights, awarenesses, connections, opportunities for, you know, your future, and how you are co-creating your individual path of sovereignty and leadership, and how you're coming together with soul family and groups that feel aligned to really be ambassadors of this age of Aquarius, this new age, this new paradigm that we are all evolving into and creating together. October 14th, Venus is trining Uranus and then trining Pluto. This is more of that integration of these energies, harmonious flows. You know, may not even notice these again because they're trines, they're easy, it's just a flow. So to know that Venus is really supporting everything that's been coming through in these last weeks in this month, just after Pluto stations, this is like smoothing the energy out. Anything that does come up October 13th that might be challenging, it's like October 14th, we have a lot of, you know, nice Venusian smoothing it out, softening it out, cutting, you know, softening any kind of edge of intensity, or like, whoo, that was really potent. Okay, Venus is just gonna like smooth it out, gentle energies. Beautiful. October 15th, 17th, we have a few more of those flows. Mars is trining the north node of the moon. Mars in Scorpio trining the north node of the moon in Pisces. This is, again, harmonious flows of energy. How you as an individual, how we as a collective are really inviting in, embodying, co creating with those Pisces spiritual healing, spiritual transformation, creative energies of go with the flow, trusting the higher plan, trusting spirit, not needing to have everything figured out like South Node in Virgo wants us to do, and have everything figured out and mapped out and controllable. Like we know it and we know what to do with it. You know, Mars and Scorpio trine North Node and Pisces. It's like, whoa, okay, I'm trusting the divine, and look at that. It's delivered, you know. The energy is connecting. October 17th, Mercury is going to reinforce that. Mercury and Scorpio trine North Node and Pisces. It's like, oh, yes, okay. Our minds can kind of relax a little bit and we're just trending in that course of our soul's evolution. Things are coming together. The universe is conspiring in our favor, and we can just kind of relax into a greater sense of trust and alignment. October 19th, 20th, 21st. This is another big energetic peak I'm feeling on the 19th. Mercury is going to conjoin Mars, 19 degrees, 11 minutes Scorpio. This can be powerful communication. This can be heated communication too. This can be flat out angry or emotionally reactive communication. So just to be aware of that, if you're triggered, if other people are triggered in your life, in your sphere, or on the world stage, to just be aware of this. Watch your words. This can be deep, empowered, passionate communication that's, coming through in like a beautiful way, but is like, whoa, this is really passionate. Didn't know that was in there. Didn't know I cared this much from the depths of my soul, from the depths of my being, Scorpio. But this is be very mindful of, your words, your communication, if you're triggered, if others are triggered, and know that it's going to pass, and to, take extra breaths. As it is in Scorpio, it can be emotionally reactive, like triggery, but also it's like smolder. It can be like more smoldering because often, a lot of the Scorpio energies is not going to come right out with it. It's going to like you can't figure out what's going on with somebody. With a lot of Scorpio energy, often they're not going to be saying anything, but they're going to be feeling it, and it's going to be very real. It's going to be very, very real. So this could even be tuning into how others are really in the depths of their transformational processes and maybe not quite giving language or words to it. Likewise, this may be where all of that energy that's been smoldering is then going to come out. So it can really manifest in lots of different ways. So just to be aware of that. October 19th. And we just had full moon in Aries, so that's a Mars ruled sign. Mars is in its ancient rulership in Scorpio. And just to be aware of that, this can be giving a lot of courage, but it also can highlight reactivity, trigger ability. So to take those breaths and to maintain a sense of calm, peace, and grounding, this will be very helpful. October 21st, that's our new moon in Libra at 28 degrees, 21 minutes. And that new moon, really, really beautiful around the same time, hours later, within a day, within 24 hours, Neptune is going to be re-entering Aries. I mean, not re-entering Aries. It's going to be leaving Aries and thus re-entering Pisces zodiac sign. Saturn just did the same thing. Saturn was in Aries and it returned to Pisces. This was on like October 31st, September 1st. So we may have an echo of that. That kind of, whoo, like, okay. Hello, Pisces. Hello, collective ocean of, unified consciousness, Pisces, back in the washing machine, as I like to say. So this can really bring up those themes of spiritual sovereignty, inner authority, inner truth, letting go of any of those energies that no longer serve your highest good. Becoming aware of what those are, and because you're ready for a whole new cycle, whole new lunar cycle, and then a whole new cycle when Neptune re-enters Aries of that clear, direct through line, you with spirit, you with your spirit, you with your authentic spiritual sovereignty, your authentic spiritual connection, your spiritual leadership, your ability to manifest the highest integrity, the highest vision of your soul and spirit's dreams. I know, lofty, but that's what we're aiming for there. On screen too, I have all the different dates of the moon and the signs. Again, I will email out the slides for those of you who like to have the slides. But just to tune into, hey, where's the moon? Vibe check, personal vibe check. everybody else vibe check. This is just super helpful information to have on a more intuitive, energetic level, on like a medical and a health level, on, if you're like growing plants or gardening. I mean, there's so many applications for knowing what sign and elements the moon is in. It's actually very practical information to have. So I'm going to stop the share at this time. I think that's all. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, was that all? This is the chart of the eclipse with a few of the key galactic alignments drawn in here. And we are going to go into our journey now.